Hey everybody, this is Tris10, and this is a management demo, mostly how to do things like roster management, the waiver system, the injured reserve, anything to do with movement of your roster. So I'm going to actually do real case scenarios right now. So the first thing we're going to do a scenario for is if a guy is injured. He's injured for real life, he can't play, he's on vacation, for whatever reasons, based on the Constitution, that's somebody to be considered under IR. So in your front office, and sorry, if you don't know how to get into the front office, you'll see whatever league you're in, manager, front office, and you'll get in here. So let's say in this case we're going to put Fraser for Heisman here on IR. So we click it, it's going to say complete. We go into the news system, we now see it's been properly documented. So now let's say you actually wanted to call somebody up. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to probably want to call somebody up from the AHL. So you probably have access to this. So go into the actual AHL league, click manager, front office, and then you're going to pick the user you want to send up. So in this case, we're going to just pick this guy. We're going to send him up. So use this tab. So you'll see there's buttons for waive and for send. Now, the difference right away between the two is the send is internal roster movement that's basically green lighted. In this case is when you need to send somebody up to replace somebody, any kind of that stuff. The waiver system, I'll get into more detail when you use it. So let's just go send. I want to confirm action. So again, it gives you the rules. So where I want to send this guy for, I want to send him to the LGHL. Who am I replacing? This is just going to be for documentation purposes. So I'm replacing this guy for Heisman. So I hit perform action. It'll update, say complete. Again, we check the news here. We can now see everything's properly documented. The Marlies have sent this guy to the Maple Leafs, temporary placing friends in there. So now if we go into the LGHL, again, there's actually two different news sources it actually creates one for every league that it affects, properly does it. So we're going to go in here. Now if we look in our roster here, we'll actually see the new guy that we put. This is the new guy we put. He's going to be on here. So he's now on our roster. Now in the case of the AHL, if you ever want to do that, if you ever want to basically have somebody that's replacing an injured reserve, essentially what we do is you can just put the guy, click it here, and then you're already going to have these guys in your training camp because that's where they are. There's no league below the actual AHL. So to call someone up, you would just do that. Take them off training camp. And that will properly document. It doesn't give you the chance to say who you're replacing, but again, it does the proper steps. And then once this guy comes back, you would then put this guy back onto training camp. Another cool thing is everybody gets proper notifications. So now I'm going to show you the waiver system, how all this works, because this is pretty important. So in this case, we're gonna waive a random player. Now, something I've added to the front office is I show their actual status here. Now, this is actually important because different things happen based on their status. For example, I've marked Castor here as a prospect. Now, under certain scenarios, one of them is prospect. I think the other one was DV1 and DV2. If you're under these type of user statuses, you actually cannot be put on the waiver wire. So you can actually go up and down. Basically, I guess they have rights to you. That's up to the Constitution. So in this case, we're going to waive this guy, and he's going to be put into the waiver wire. So I click waive. So another thing it does, it actually blocks out all these buttons here because people were pushing it and then it was taking maybe 5 seconds to actually execute. The reason why it was taking 5 seconds to execute is because I've added script that it actually notifies every other manager in the league that, hey, the Maple Leafs have put this guy on the waiver system, so they have a chance to claim him. And it was taking a while to send those push notifications, but I made it so you can't double click because people love to double click for some reason. So we've done this. We've put him on the waiver wire. Now, if I'm another team, I'm just going to go open up another tab here. Here I am, the Buffalo Sabres. If I wanted to claim a person, I'd go into waiver wire, and then I would see everybody who's actively on the waiver wire, and if I wanted to claim them, and any other teams that have claims. So in this case, I'm just going to say, are you sure you want to put a claim for that player? I do. It'll actually refresh. Let me go to waiver wire here. Actually refresh that. Okay, the Buffalo Sabres now have a claim on him. Now, the way the actual sort works on this, if there's more than one team, it will sort by the team that's had the last claim. So let's say there's two teams tied. I'm Buffalo. I had a claim 2 weeks ago. There's LA. They had a claim 1 week ago. Well, since my last claim was 2 weeks, I would have first rights. If there's a tie there, then it's based on points in the teams. So that's how that system works. So if you give me a second here, I'm going to expire this waiver claim just so I can show you everything that happens here. So let's just expire it and then run our script to do it. So this person's now been expired. So it'll now say the Buffalo Sabres have claimed the rights to this guy off of waivers. So if I actually refresh the site here, I'm Buffalo. Holy geez, more notifications. Congratulations, you have claimed this guy off waivers, stuff like that. And again, there was a notification that the Leafs actually put him on the waiver wire. So that's how you handle waiver system. So now I'm going to give you another example where the guy's actually going to clear waivers. So let me go back into my manager here. So let's put that guy we called up, or no, we didn't. Let's put this guy to waive him. So we waived him. Everybody knows. Everybody's been notified. Let's expire this one. Again, this is just me going to the database and saying, hey, make sure this one expires. Give me a second as I run the script. Okay, so in this case, this player is actually going to have cleared waivers. So here we go. Schaffer here has cleared waivers and is now reporting to the Toronto Marlies. So another cool thing it does is it alerts all the teams that are that have affected by this. Let me just go back in here. So if I look, so I'm also part of the Marlies, so I get this notification here. It says Schaffer has cleared waivers for the LGHL, is now reporting to the Toronto Marlies roster. So everybody on the Marlies, that's management, is going to get this notification. So if we go, again, I've already showed this. He's there. If I go into LGHL, look at roster here. Schaffer, there he is. See, now he's already on that team, properly doing everything. If I go into manager as in the AHL, I will then see Schaffer on my team. So now another cool thing is if you waive somebody from the AHL down, he should automatically be placed on a team if he's not already in the CHL. So let's waive this guy right here. So you know what? You're going to go down to the CHL. So I'm going to waive him. Click waive. So all the AHL people will see that this guy's on waivers. Now we're going to expire it. So let's say nobody picks him up. So he needs to go into the CHL. So let me run my script here. And it's done. So now if I click news, so he has cleared waivers and he's now reporting to the Colts. I think it's the Barrie Colts. That's the CHL team. So now so he's actually been put onto the CHL. So if I go to roster here and look for the Colts, the guy I put on, I forgot his name. There he is right there. So there he goes. He carries his AHL contract into it, but he's now reporting under the training camp for the AHL. Contract, so I'll fix that up. So that's how that system works. So let me go back into here and again just give you a brief description. No, I don't want to go into CHL. Let's go into AHL manager. So again, the difference between the two is waiver is when you're properly sending people down. The send system is if you already have the rights to move the guy, usually to replace somebody. That's how you do it. So, pretty simple system. Oh, sorry, one other thing I want to show you is manager, front office. So here's a case where I got Castor here who's a prospect. So if I waive him, based under the rules of the Constitution, anybody who's a prospect, if you try to waive them, they automatically clear waivers. Nobody else has a chance to pick them up. So I'm going to click it. So what's already happened is it's already done the proper steps to say Castor has cleared waivers. So you notice how it didn't say he was put on the waivers. He's already cleared waivers because other teams don't have a chance to pick him up. So that's how you would move a prospect down. So I hope that answers most of your questions, and hopefully that solves a lot of problems. Thanks.